A beautiful spring summer night with two very, very special guests tonight on this new episode of Education Exchange, the most popular cable TV show. We get the highest ratings on YouTube as well in public access TV website. As a matter of fact, we are competing with Yale Cohen on public access TV, but we are getting a lot of rating. So I know that you are specialized in video production and cinema work and all that. You have to say something after I introduce you in this area. The two special guests tonight is Ann Feldmann, a good friend of mine for many years. A very special leader of education. A woman who has had her fingerprints all over this town, and we are obliged to you for your service and for your dedication and devotion to this profession. Jon Weih, I have heard about your legacy in Kirkwood before we met, before I had the honor to teach in your school, a couple of courses, and still doing some continuing education courses there. Very wonderful role of a community school in our country. And we know that you are now getting ready to be the director of the Kirkwood Regional High School Center.
That's correct, yeah.
Ann Feldmann, we met here years ago when you were the head of human resources after being assistant principal or associate principal. And then after that, you left us to Cedar Rapids, and you created a legacy there in Cedar Rapids. New programs, new concept, and new vision in Cedar Rapids. And then we were successful to bring you back. So you came back home here, and would like to keep you for the next 24 years.
Thank you.
This is a very special night for me. Jon Weih, welcome to our Education Exchange. And I would like you to tell me a little bit bio about your history and your interest that I have seen in young people, especially young people who are in need, and some of them are in desperate need.
Yeah, I'm. My background, I grew up within a half an hour here. I'm not too far away. Tipton, Iowa is my hometown. I went to the University of Northern Iowa.
You are the real stuff.
Yeah, and I had a degree in radio television, so sitting in here, looking at all the production equipment is very comfortable for me. I still freelance a little bit on the side, mostly video work, for production company that would come through and do a sporting event or something along those lines. And I'm also an announcer in track and field, and I do a lot of track meets around the Midwest, around the country. So I still have my hand in media very firmly in that technology part of what we call STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. And my interest at Kirkwood started in distance learning. As a matter of fact, I worked in interactive television. So Kirkwood was one of the pioneers in using two-way video, two-way audio to deliver instruction to some of our remote areas in our 7-county service area. That's how I started at Kirkwood. And so I've been very fortunate in the 25 years I've been at Kirkwood to be able to have several different career paths. And it's all happened at one institution. It's been very fortunate for me. If you talk to my wife, and I have 4 daughters and a beautiful wife, we've been married for 25 years, I don't sit still very well. And so I often joke that I'm kind of that utility infielder for Kirkwood, that if you need me to play first base next week, I can do that. If you need me at third, I can hit the other corner. If you need me right there at shortstop, I can turn the double play. And I like being that kind of person. It's given me a real breadth of opportunity at Kirkwood. And like you said, Hani, I mean, working with a population that comes to Kirkwood, we often say that we take the top 99% of every high school graduate in the state of Iowa. And community colleges are designed to do that. We have the best, and we have students like myself that maybe didn't have the top scores coming out of high school, and yet, needed to go to college. I did not go to Kirkwood myself. I went to the University of Northern Iowa, but I've dealt with so many great people and so many students over the years that ask very simple questions. Can I do this? Is this something I can do? And at Kirkwood, we like to tell them, yes, you can. It's going to be work, it's going to be a challenge, but let us help you try to get there. And that's been the fun part of being at a community college.
And how did the idea of collaboration between the district and Kirkwood came about, and what is the goal of this project?
Well, Hani, first of all, thank you for your very generous introduction. You and I go back a long ways, and I throw that back at you. All the dedication and devotion you have to our community and our school district is greatly appreciated, so thank you. The collaboration, we've been working together with Kirkwood for a long, long time. It's been kind of a well-kept secret in our school district. I remember way back when I first started in the district as an assistant principal at West High, we had Kirkwood classes going on at night and in summers right in our classrooms. So this particular new collaboration started about 2 or 3 years ago. Superintendent Steve Murley, when he came to the district, was very excited about getting more cooperation with our partners like Kirkwood and the University of Iowa. So it's really coming to fruition. We're really going to see a building on Oakdale Boulevard, and we're going to hopefully see kids from all over the area go to a unique place where they can get dual credit and sometimes triple credit at this place.
And did you design a curriculum for this, or you are in the process of preparation, or where are you exactly? Which stage of development you're in now?
Well, great question. And the answer is we are trying to blend or blur the lines between a K-12 education, we call it K-14 or K-16 education. And so the curriculum will be designed primarily by Kirkwood Community College and the University of Iowa. So it will be their courses where we'll get our students the opportunity to gain credit both for high school, but also to take a Kirkwood course or a University of Iowa course in collaboration with Kirkwood. That's what I mean when I say triple credit. So for example, we're going to be offering a course called Arts and Sciences. And it's a year-long course, and it'll be starting actually this coming fall. We have about 30 students signed up for it from all of our region. And students will get high school credit for high school English. They'll get Kirkwood Community College credit for the courses they're taking, but it also serves as the rhetoric requirement for the University of Iowa. So that's a triple credit course. So that's the kind of thing that Kirkwood designs in conjunction with the University of Iowa and high school.
And do you utilize the staff of Kirkwood or the staff of the district or the staff of the university?
That's a great question. We're just at that point where we're looking at staffing. And in some cases, the Arts and Science Academy, for instance, is 4 different classes a student will take over the course of a year. And so they'll earn 12 college credits by the time they finish the academy. Composition 1 and 2 will be satisfied, along with oral communication class or a speech class, and then psychology class, introductory psychology. So those 4 classes all require certain credentials to be able to teach. At a community college level, that generally requires a master's degree in that field, or a master's degree plus so many credit hours in that particular area of study. And so my preference would be to go to our high school partners first and say, do you have somebody in your district that has those credentials that's already teaching that you may want to share? In this particular year, we might not have anybody that's available to share. In the next year, we may have someone. And so what Kirkwood would do is work on contractual arrangements with that school district, if that's the Iowa City Community School District, and we would hire part of that instructor to teach that class. They'd come out to the regional center and teach it, and then they would go back to their school district again. If we have no such instructor like that in those school districts, then of course we would look, I would contact our deans at our community college and say, in your discipline, do you have anyone that is looking for extra teaching capacity, extra load? Here's what they'd be doing. And we would employ those instructors that are already teaching at the collegiate level. And then after that, we would look to adjunct faculty. In this community especially, we have many qualified adjunct faculty that would teach those particular classes. And so that's kind of the progression of how we would find an instructor. In some of the technical classes, of course, it may be somebody that it works in the field of welding or advanced manufacturing that comes to teach, or possibly an engineer that has release time from a business that comes in and teaches a project lead the way class at that upper level, or somebody that teaches auto body or auto tech. Those are the kinds of folks we'd be looking for, and of course we'll look at our partners first.
So this will emphasize the vocational side of training too.
Well, to some extent, you know, it depends on who you ask. The Kirkwood Regional Center at the University of Iowa is really a partnership. It's a partnership between Kirkwood, the University of Iowa, all the school districts that in Johnson County and a few outside of Johnson County that feed into to this particular regional center, and then also Grantwood AEA, which will be resident in this particular regional center. They'll move their southern office off of Holiday Road in Coralville, and they'll have brand new facilities out there. And then a part of Kirkwood called the Workplace Learning Connection, which sets up short and long-term internships and job visits for students from K all the way up.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, we have an opportunity for them not only to, I call it a peek over the pale a little bit. You know, if I'm thinking, you know, what is the field of architecture about? What is this field of construction? And well, I don't know what that really means. Well, I can take a career academy and earn college credits and take a look at residential and commercial construction or civil engineering, all those different areas that comprise that, and decide, is this something I'd like to do? If it is, then I've got a jump start on a career or some credentials in this area already. And if it's not, I can say, you know what, I tried that out. I didn't spend a lot of my money and time in college figuring that out. I can do something different. Or maybe it piqued my interest in a whole different field that I wanted to go into. And so in some of those career fields, yes, they do have an opportunity. You're talking about advanced manufacturing, energy, architecture, construction, engineering, transportation with automotive tech and auto body, you know, welding certifications, CNC manufacturing, and then, you know, things along the lines of, I'll just use civil engineering as an example. They could take those kinds of classes that maybe a school district doesn't offer, or you know, doesn't have enough students to offer, and we might be able to join our resources between those districts and then offer some of those higher level engineering courses at Kirkwood. It could be information technology, it could be graphic design, it could be more arts and science academies like the ones that Ann mentioned, but in addition to that, maybe science classes, or you know, college level class in biology or chemistry or whatever that might be.
This is all very impressive indeed, but I have to be a little honest with you. When you have all these huge institutions trying to work on one program, I cannot envy you as a director, because you have to coordinate between all that. You know, who's going to be holding the reins? You know, because we know that the University of Iowa is not the easiest friend. You know, they are wonderful friends, but they are not the easiest. And they probably would like to prevail or dominate somehow. I don't know. I mean, how do you envision? And I'm talking to you from my heart. Mm-hmm. Not from a script or from something I prepare. How do you coordinate all this? Who's going to have the final word?
Well, a friend asked me the other day, says, with all of those things to deal with, how do you sleep at night? And
yes.
I said, well, I sleep like a baby.
Oh.
I wake up every 2 hours and cry, and then I go back to sleep again. But
the negative part.
Yeah, I mean, I usually tell people this. You know, it's a little bit like learning to dance. You know, we've worked together with school districts on very many things before, but this is even a little bit different than some of the things we've done in the past. Students aren't exactly used to leaving their school building and then coming to a different facility and taking classes and going back again. They're not necessarily work on a college schedule that they're used to. And so working together with the school districts, we've had to work a lot of logistical things out and talk about those and discuss them. The University of Iowa is the same way, and Grant Wood the same way. I mean, you're talking about two wonderful institutions there that do a lot of research and a lot of professional development. And so some of the strength that they would bring into a regional center is in the way that they may work not just with students but with faculty, K-12, from around the state, from around our region. And so we're learning to dance. We started with the Texas two-step because it's a little easier to handle, but we're learning to waltz. You know, and the waltz is a lot of grace and a lot of style and a lot of moves to it, but we're really, I feel like we're getting to that point. Nan, you feel to agree or disagree, but it's been a process. It's taken several years to get here, and I really feel like we've made that progress.
Let us bring Paul Davis to do the training.
That's right. Paul Davis does it. I would offer Jordan Cohen from the University of Iowa has been a great partner. He's been at the table very early in the process to help us coordinate. And for me, from a district perspective, Hani, what I see is the University of Iowa brings a flavor that many of our students in the Iowa City Community School District will maybe gravitate toward. And we have a whole nother aspect of this, auto technology and other things that other kinds of students will be able to gravitate toward. I think we really can do many things for many of our students. When we first envisioned this, Hani, there were some people who said, well, that's the automotive technology, that's welding, you know, that's for a certain kind of student. With the University of Iowa at the table, we can bring professors in from the University of Iowa hospitals and clinics who could provide internships and get an insight into medical careers. You might be studying pharmacy tech, but that might turn into...
And they have grants.
Right. And so they're very interested in helping our students understand the reality of the work world that they are training students for as well.
I'm happy that I played the devil's advocate in order to that you bring the positives that you see at Grant Wood and the University of Iowa, these two giants that you're working with. But now let us move to the district now. Now you have plans for a third high school?
Yes, we do, Hani.
Well, tell me about that.
Well, this is part of our 10 years master facility planning. As you know, Hani, we are growing by leaps and bounds in the Iowa City Community School District. In fact, by the year 2017-18, the school year, we predict we will have 4,000 high school students in our school district. So we need space and room for them, and so we will be looking to add a third high school in the north area of the district in that year. It'll serve about 1,500 students, so that's an exciting topic for us to talk about.
How was your meeting with the legislative branch and the members of the local representatives and senators and all that? They had a lot of questions about the plans of the district and so on. And I was really astonished that some of them didn't have the idea, why do we have, for instance, to cut some foreign language and to diminish the music and in the meantime extend our physical existence or physical plant. They thought it's all in one pocket, so you can. But I was happy that Steve Merrily was able to explain to them that that the money that's here cannot be spent here, and the money that's here cannot be used for other reasons. That's the law.
That's correct, Hani.
So I think, how was your impression about this meeting? It was important.
Yes, I thank you, Hani, for offering that. And it's hard for people to grasp that there are different buckets of money for a school district. People might say that about the university. Why is the university building buildings, but they're having budget troubles? Well, they're different pots of money, and it's different problems that we're working on at the same time. We're busting at the seams, and we have students in temporary buildings all over the district where they have to walk inside the building to go to the bathroom and things like that. So that's an issue. We've got to work on that. But we also have another bucket of money called our operating expenses. And we've suffered through some really lean years from the Iowa legislature. In fact, one year we had no extra money. And if they had simply given us 2% more money, we would have $12 million more in our budget. We would be adding programs at this point instead of looking at cutting $3.6 million. So there are different pockets of money and different problems, and we can't ignore one because we're facing issues in the other bucket of money.
Very good. Jon, I think you see this music is not coming from our program so that we wrap up. It's coming from our neighbors upstairs. We have the...
I might get up and start dancing.
Yeah, you already talked about dancing.
Yeah,
Jon.
I did.
And they are doing a good job
They
with
are.
people with disability, Uptown Bills. And,
Oh, yes.
So this is just explaining to our audience that they may have difficulty listening to us because of the music that's a little loud. But in the future, we will have more insulation here and we'll get a better equipment.
You have a nice studio. This is very nice for
Very
you.
nice.
What do you have for us now with the Families Resource Center? You have a couple of minutes to tell me about this, because this is a successful part of your daily work.
Absolutely, Hani. The student and family advocates, as we've renamed the position, each of them have a different specialty. So one student and family advocate may be working at an elementary school, helping families to overcome the barriers to learning that kids have. So they may be doing anything from helping families get an alarm clock so they can get up in the morning and get to school, to taking students to medical appointments, to just reaching out to families to help them understand things like changing boundaries and budget cuts and things like that. So that's one aspect. At the high school, we have student and family advocates who help students with their mental health issues. We have student and family advocates who help students with their perhaps substance abuse issues. And those also who reach out to families. We know that if families can trust us, we do better at teaching them, and the student and family advocates are fabulous additions to our faculty.
Jon Weih, do you have anything to tell our audience? We have a couple minutes.
Sure.
And you can look at the camera and talk to the audience about what you are about to put on the launching pad.
Well, my position changes starting July 1st. So I've been the Director of Student Services for Kirkwood and Iowa City
A lot of people will miss
for a
you.
long time. I will miss them too.
You know them by name.
Yes, I do. I'm a professional visitor, and I like to get out of my office and talk to students and see how they're doing, and
You are very personal.
and be an encourager. I think that's one of my gifts. But I'll get to do that with a lot more high school students that are coming through the regional center. But my position transfers already this summer without a facility. Our facility will be open in the fall of 2015. If folks are out on the Oakdale campus, if they go out 965 and take a right by the hygienic lab, I'll be in some temporary facilities right across the street for a year. But if they want to drive down the street and take a look at the regional center as it exists right now, it's about 4 stories are up. They'll have enclosure done probably by the end of the summer, and they'll work all winter long on the interior of the building, and a new road going in out there. It'll be beautiful, and I'll have a bird's eye view of that from my new office out there this summer. But yeah, well, I miss my friends in Iowa City, absolutely. Spent a lot of years building relationships with my staff and the faculty at Iowa City, along with our faculty in Cedar Rapids that are just top notch. I've stayed there for 25 years because I absolutely fall in love with the place. And, God willing, I'll work there. I don't know if it'll be another 25 years. I'd be awfully old by the time I did it, but you know what? I may just do that. Who knows? The thing about a community college is we get to be involved in an awful lot of things that are very encouraging for people and a lot of fun to work with. And that's one of my mottos in life, is to have fun while I'm doing it. And I've been able to do that at Kirkwood.
And it's your turn now to take us to a conclusion of this show.
Well, I would just say to students and families out there, get excited, ask your guidance counselor about the Kirkwood Regional Center at the University of Iowa. And we're not waiting to start, wait for the building to be constructed. We are doing classes this coming fall at Trek, at Solon, and at West Branch. And so there are classes you can sign up for now and learn as much as you can about it, because we're going to have a lot of fun doing this for kids.
Yep.
We were honored to have both of you tonight.
Thanks for
I'm
asking.
always honored to be with you, Hani.
It's a very special night, and thank you for bringing Jon Weih,
He's pretty
because
great.
this is this added to the honor that we have. As you know, this program will be aired always on Channel 21, that's Education Channel, and more on Channel 18, that's Public Access TV. And they have been so generous to us. They provide the studio for us, the assistants, the camera people, the directors, the machines. So they have been, they deserve really a good credit for what they do. In the meantime, I would like to thank Jon Karhoff, the father of this show. Jon Karhoff, this is his 20th year on this show.
Hi, John.
So,
Thank you, Jon.
So we'll celebrate 20 years of achievements and perseverance. And Mike Peterson has been all along a good friend. And we have been doing this show out of love to the district, out of love to our school kids, you know. So we are on YouTube too. So if you don't, to my audience, if you don't have a cable, you don't have any pretext, you don't have any reason to say I didn't see the show, because we are on Public Access TV on your computer, the website, as well as YouTube. And we are on the time on Channel 18 and Channel 21. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you, Hani, for
And
getting
come
the
back
word
for
out.
again.
having us.
Thank you, my friend.
Thank
It's
you.
great to see you.
Thank you, Hani.
Thank you very much. Our audience, have a very good evening, and thank you very much for your attention and listening.